God forbid God humbles you and one day you need government assistance. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mama Crazies and Nim. Today is October 20th, Monday, October 20th. It is now, I don't know, I got the oven on, probably a little after 4 o'clock p.m. If I look tired, it's because I am. I'm tired every day, all day. As most adults in this world today and age. Anyway, we're eating some spaghetti today. I've already prepared my meat sauce. I just need to let it simmer. I just turned the pasta water on. I am gonna bake a cake. I'm not that good at baking, but I'm just follow the directions and pray it turns out right. Let me adjust this light. Y'all, my kitchen is tiny. So I don't have a whole lot of space to record in here. But this cake calls for a half cup of oil, 1 cup of water, 3 eggs. I have 3 eggs. Don't want to spill it. Y'all can see there's 3 yolks there. My cousin, who loves to bake, one time asked me if I would let the eggs get room temperature. And I was like, no. She's like, oh, that's probably what the problem is. What? You didn't tell me? Nobody ever told me that the eggs had to be room temperature or else your food was not going to turn out. Your desserts aren't going to turn out right. So this is a half a cup of oil. Sometimes I have to read those measurements over and over and over again like I'm dyslexic, because I have read half cup before as whole cup or something like that, and that wasn't good. Now I'm smart enough to know that since it's eggs, I need to use cold water because hot water will bake the eggs. I'm letting my water get cold. And what I normally do is put all the wet ingredients in. Voila, like so, and then I mix them up. Y'all, we have cornbread. Y'all, we have garlic bread, but I'm in the mood for spaghetti and. Did y'all hear that? Yes, I spilled a little. I'm in a mood for spaghetti and cornbread. So we're going to have cornbread with this. Break egg. Okay. I got all of that. This cake does not call for milk or anything like that. Pillsbury Devil's Food, I think. This is a cake mix that I got from the food pantry. And I decided that I want to use strawberry icing on it. And I was going to put some chocolate chips on the outside, but we ate the chocolate. So don't tell nobody. I do not have any Baker's Joy. I know about Baker's Joy because of my mom. So I'm just going to spray my pan and dust a little bit of flour in it. I'm making this in my cast iron because I want it to be round, and I don't have any round pans. So a little bit of, my mama used to put a lot of flour and then shake it all around and shake the excess flour out. My mom is also good at baking. This is gluten-free flour. It does not look like it is going to cooperate. So I'm going to have to pat this around. Let me show y'all what I'm doing. I finally got a tripod. And, since I've been without one for so long, I'm forgetting how to use it. It does tell you to do this. So Just following the directions. I'm gonna pour this in here and pour this in here. They have a recipe on there for a s'mores cake. That looks good. Try not to make a mess. If it doesn't turn out right, I will let y'all know. Now, 2 eggs. You guys cannot see what I'm doing. Where we at? Just no countertop space, I tell you. And this says to bake. I don't care how long this is. I know from my mom baking, when you can smell it, it's usually done. Okay, so the cornbread. Because I'm going to put this and the cornbread in at the same time. I cannot see if you guys can see. The angle might be a little bad, just ignore it. Okay, the cornbread calls for 1 egg per package and 2/3 cup of milk. 1/3, 2/3. So I'm going to take this, put butter in it, put it in the oven so that the butter can melt. My water is just now boiling. I do put salt in my pasta water because I don't want it to be bland. So beautiful. All right, again, we're using Shawnee Mills. So I used fat-free skim milk. I'm gonna add just a little tiny more because it's too thick. And I'm gonna put butter in the pan. What is that?
She's hitting her bed.
Is she okay? How you know you're not in there? Okay.
She always does that.
Evenly distributed. So let's pop both of these in the oven and we'll be back. The cake and the cornbread are done, and the spaghetti. Everything's done. It's 5:12. So dang, I've been in here longer than I thought. But anyway, we're gonna let that cool. Remove it. Put the ice in. There, right there. Y'all saw all that butter that was in the pan. Look at all that butter off in it. It doesn't need any butter. Good morning, my beautiful YouTube family. Y'all, today is Tuesday, October 21st, and I just want to open up this vlog. I went ahead and went to the food pantry today. You guys, they're talking about people not receiving their SNAP, EBT, loans, or whatever you call it where you are, in November. You know, I've been learning about all the resources in my area for quite some time now, which God led me to talk to you guys about those things. So I've been telling you guys about the food pantries and so on. I know a lot of times we have like negative connotations or mindsets about the food pantries, you know, because some of them, the food is rotten past the expiration date. But a lot of the stuff like the canned goods and things like that, at least in my area, is pretty decent. Now, when it comes to produce and stuff like that, you know, like most of it you have to eat like pretty much right away. That, and then also they give a lot of meat, and the meat is frozen. So with that being said, it saves me money. You have to save where you can, you know, whether you, unless you're making 6 figures a year this day and age anyway, it's probably best that you utilize some resources in your area so that you can save where you can. So anyway, I want to address the people who for some reason seem to think that just because someone is receiving food stamps, they don't work, they're lazy, they just depend on the government, they keep having kids and expect for the government to take care of them. Shut up. I'm just gonna say it just like that. Shut up, and God forbid God humbles you and puts you in a situation where you have to depend on the government. There are many reasons why people are receiving food benefits, okay? Some of them are veterans who are disabled and they receive food stamps because, you know, I figure they're just not taken care of even though they served. There are disabled people who receive food benefits because they cannot work. There are people who work but just don't make enough money to make ends meet, and so they receive food benefits to help them out. And you just don't know someone's story. I mean, myself, for example, I worked let me say this. I started working when I was 16, but as an adult, I worked 22 years managing a salon. Married, had children with my husband after marriage. We were doing a pretty good job at taking care of our children, but guess what? The marriage didn't work out. And if you want to know where he is and how come he's not buying groceries, it's because he has his own issues that he has to deal with. Child support, just to give you guys a little testimony, child support told me that they are not going to pursue him for child support
because he is permanently disabled. He is legally blind. Okay, he has a degenerative eye disease that we did not find out until, find out about until after we had already been together. So the only reason why, and I don't have to explain myself to anyone, but I'm saying this because it is really getting on my nerves hearing people talk about it's so ghetto, they just depend on the government. And y'all, in any situation, there are people who are going to take advantage, take for granted, all of that. It just doesn't matter. All I'm saying is stop judging people. I might not even put all of this in there, my testimony and explanation, but I will say exactly what I said. God forbid God humbles you and one day you need government assistance, period. But anyway, nonetheless, I am blessed. Yes, I receive food stamps. They are a blessing. Is it enough for me to feed my family for the whole month? Absolutely not.
All right, so this is the Save Money Where You Can food pantry haul. But before I get into this haul, I don't think I hauled the grocery items from one of the food pantries I went to, but they gave us lamb chops, okay? Anywho, I'm gonna make this quick because I think I'm gonna run to another food pantry. We got bread. They keep the breads fresh by freezing them and then putting them in the fridge. So I'm just gonna put those back in the fridge. And I really hope you guys can hear me with all of my rattling of the papers around. I have 4 rows of some good quality toilet tissue. I went ahead and picked up egg noodles. At this particular one, they allow you to pick so many items per household size. There's 4 in my household, so I get 50 items. All right, here are the other 2 rows of toilet tissue. And as you can see, they're the mega size. So with the paper towels, generally, they will have like how many you can get if they're a little low on paper towels. But I'm taking it they weren't low, but I wasn't greedy. I only got 2. Save money where you can. This helps out a lot. I got a whole gallon of milk. For y'all that aren't that great with math, 2 halves equal a whole. I got baby wipes. I chose 2 enchilada sauce packets. I have found my household loves this Shawnee Mills muffin mix. It's sweet yellow corn. So I got 4 of those. Smash up my bread there. I picked up 2 packs of noodles. We don't really eat noodles like that, but they still come in handy. I didn't count my stuff. They counted it for me. So it could be less than 50 or over 50. I don't know. But they had these Knorr pasta mix. So I got the chicken and broccoli, the chicken flavor, the Alfredo, and the butter. If you've never tried those, they really come in handy for a quick, easy meal or a side dish. I picked up 1 packet of spaghetti. This is good. I mean, it's good for like a lunch or something like that. And then 2 of the white chili chicken. If I'm not mistaken, I saw these in the Dollar Tree. I don't really know. But anyway, that white chili chicken is good to use in things. I don't eat it by itself. This is a small roll of ground beef. This is the only meat they gave me today. So they had this Bear Creek creamy wild rice. Normally I use Bear Creek as like an added ingredient. I don't really eat it as a soup. So I'm gonna see what all is in that and figure out. I'm looking cross-eyed today. What the heck? Anyway, I'm gonna figure out if I can make something happen with it. Stovetop. Like I said, a lot of the stuff from the food pantries you can use to stretch your meals. Make casseroles. You could use that in like enchiladas or something like that. They gave me some Best Choice margarine. This was right on time because I just ran out of margarine. I picked up 2 cans of whole potatoes. I have found that those come in handy for like soups and things like that. When you don't want to stand there and cut up and peel potatoes. Anyway, Denny Moore chicken and dumplings. I think my goddaughter might like those. Some roast beef in a can. I think I got 3 of those. Maybe I only got 2. Maybe I only got 2. Another roast beef in the can. I don't know you, so you're probably spam. Some Sugary Sam sweet potatoes, chicken broth. I think I picked up like 3 cans of chicken. Yeah, 3 cans of chicken broth. I'll save y'all from having to look at all of those. I picked up some chicken tortilla soup. Thought maybe my goddaughter might like those. I picked up like 3 cans of green beans, coconut milk because I want to try that in a smoothie. Green beans, a can of carrots, another one of those Sylvia's. And thank you to the 2 ladies. I think it was Healthy Living with Kanika and Mindful Crafts and More, who told me about the historic restaurant called Sylvia's in Harlem. I did look it up and the food looked really good. So thank you for telling me about that. I went ahead and got another can because I want to use 2 cans, not 1. I want to mix the Sylvia's with something else. It might take away from the flavor. I picked up some canned pumpkin puree because I don't know, I might want to try to make a pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin pie. Or maybe even mix that in some pancakes and make pumpkin flavored pancakes, or mix it in my cornbread. Bag. I'm shouting them out. They made a pumpkin cornbread that looks so good. I have a can of manwich, so I went ahead and got another one because I keep saying I'm gonna make manwich and haven't done it yet. Another can of carrots, if that's not the same can. 2 cans of black eyed peas, and then the star of the show. The star of this show is not even food. When I tell you, God be answering my prayers, big or small. Some of the big ones he hasn't quite answered just yet. But when I tell y'all, when I had a full kitchen of things, I didn't need anything in my kitchen, okay? I had every pot, pan, casserole dish, griddle, waffle, you name it, I had it. I gave it all away. All the way down to extra straws that I may have had. And so I told God, asked him or I just told him, like, I really want some casserole dishes because I don't have any casserole dishes anymore. And, I find myself putting a lot of things in the oven, and the handle on my big skillet is messed up, and the skillet is kind of scratched up and stuff like that. So I just needed some new stuff. So anyway, I found this, like a mixing bowl. Didn't necessarily need another bowl, but you always need stuff like this. You know why? Things break, and especially when you have a family. But look, I got me a Pyrex, y'all. This is like going to a garage sale, and you come up on something, except I didn't have to pay for that. So thank you to whoever donated these things. I got another can opener. I used to be the type of person that would be like, I don't need that because I already have one, but I'm realizing, like, things break, things get old, you need a new one, you either keep forgetting. So it's just convenient to, like, stock up on stuff. Now, I wouldn't hoard it, of course. I found plates. I know I got some black plates from another thrift store, but again, plates break, okay? Especially when you have kids. So go figure. And last but not least, a Tefal skillet. This is like the one my parents have. It didn't come with a lid, but I'm pretty sure I have a lid that will fit this. So you guys, that is gonna complete this food pantry haul for today. I gotta go, and I'm probably gonna go out looking just like this because the longer I wait, the more crowded the food pantry is gonna get. And honey, like I said before, they are talking about not giving people their food benefits. So guess what that means? People gonna be hitting up the food pantry.